your base art belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Alright, glass is clean, we are ready to go.
Ready to go.
We are Gamers Digest, your number 2 source of gaming news, right behind that guy at work who seems to know all of the gaming stuff. Who's looking to hire him.
Who is that guy?
Everybody has him. Like, there is always one person at work that is, like, so on top of, like, there's a game guy, a movie guy, you know, if you're really nerdy, a comic book guy, depending on where you work.
Yeah.
I like to sit somewhere in the middle.
Between the movies and the games?
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me of something that, like, I want to say, maybe 2 weeks ago, there was this guy, he was like the exterminator, he was coming through work, and he's like spraying for bugs and stuff, and he like, out of nowhere, he saw me, and he asked me about video games. They're like, do I have that, like, aura about me?
Maybe he saw you on TV.
I don't know. I told him about the podcast and to check it out, but he's like, we got into like a 5-10 minute conversation about like video games. Like I told him about the PS4 that was coming out, but he didn't really know about it or.
See, you should watch the show.
Yeah,
you can be as informed as we pretend we are.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I told him to check it out. So maybe I gave him one of my cards.
Oh, did you really?
The cards we made. So yeah.
I still have those in my car. I haven't found like a functional use for them.
I've given out a couple of them.
Yeah,
it was pretty. It's pretty
Video
funny.
game biologist.
Yeah, pretty funny each time. Yeah.
Alright, well, we talk about gaming news, rumors, we do previews and reviews. We don't have any reviews this week. We were going to do Injustice, but we didn't.
And I would have done Star Trek, but we didn't get it.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh well.
We do have 2 previews for you, which is odd because one of our conversation topics is a gaming drought. Mm-hmm. So it's funny that we both found games to preview when there really isn't anything coming out.
Yeah.
So, but yours is supposed to be released like way down the line. Like it's not supposed to be released for.
I think in months. Not until like June.
Oh, is it even that close?
Yeah. It's not coming out until
that's
June.
about the same as mine.
Yeah. It's not coming out until June.
Okay. Well. What did you play this week? You got a pretty decent list.
Yeah, I played Injustice with you yesterday on Battle Block Theater. That was pretty fun. Yeah. And while we were at Best Buy, I was playing on the Vita, and they had a Sly Cooper demo. I just fooled around with that really quick. Yeah, I was hoping that this whole past week I would have been playing Star Trek, you know, with the advanced copy I was supposed to get, and didn't come.
Yeah. Oh. Well. I actually played a little bit on the Vita, Guacamelee or something like that. It's like a Castlevania, Metroidvania type of game.
With the wrestler dude, the luchador. Yeah,
I played that on Vita, and that seemed pretty cool.
It did look, the video looked cool.
Yeah. I did Injustice as well. I played a lot of that, not just, multiplayer with you, but I went through all the single player, I did some of the special stuff. I'm going to do a little more with it, and then maybe next week we'll come back with a review on it.
Cool.
Maybe do a joint. I did Guild Wars 2. Jump back in with that with a friend. Guild Wars is nice versus World of Warcraft because it's a much more casual-paced game. And I know that's like a bad word in the MMO, is casual, but you can like jump in and out and do pretty much whatever you want at any level. So it's a lot more fun in terms of like the casual schedule. Like, just so you guys know, I haven't played World of Warcraft in a week. I'm not jonesing or anything. Like I'm not sad that I haven't played.
There's no withdrawal.
No, like I've actually been thinking about stopping for a while now. It's just because there is so much upkeep to it. It's like you almost feel like you're losing ground if you're not playing every day. And that's cool when you're in college and stuff, and you can do that. But it's getting to a point now that even now, before we have the kid, I can't keep up with that. And I can't be competitive in any game I play. I want to be competitive. So I stepped out of that. I mean, I still follow all this stuff, and I do still like the story, so I think I'll still probably read the books and stuff. But I think I'm done with the game.
Oh, wow.
Maybe till Warcraft 4 comes out. So
there you go.
Did Battle Block Theater. I really enjoy that game. That game is a lot of fun.
It's very...
It's simple. And it's frustrating, but it's fun. Like, it's just pure dumb fun.
Yeah, like when we almost got schooled by this one guy on that other basketball team. That was
Yeah, no,
crazy.
he was like ruining us. But
Yeah.
I really like the horse. I think the horse racing was my favorite because it was just so chaotic, like trying to block horses.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
That was crazy.
I did Fable 3. I finally restarted that. Went through the tutorial and stuff. So I'm actually probably going to jump into that after we're done and play that a little more. And then I also started playing Warframe, which is it's very weird. It's like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, but with robots.
And that's for PC?
Yeah, and it's free to play. So.
Oh, nice.
You got a twinkle in your eye?
I got something in my eye.
Yeah.
It'll get out eventually.
Okay. Well, we got some news. Actually got a good bit of good news this week, but some bad news.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you to create a good news, bad news, like layout, like
We probably could
green
do
and
that.
then red.
Yeah. What's in the green this week?
Okay. All right. So
Next week's show.
the first bit of good news is if you missed the Zelda concert series last year, it's orchestrated and all that. It's a big concert series. It's coming back again this year, and I'm even more excited because it's actually coming to Baltimore this year.
Oh, wow.
Last year, the closest it was Philadelphia,
Oh.
which are going to Philadelphia again. We're going to post the link in our show notes, but you can. It's all over the web right now. But I actually really wanted to see it because the guy who has done the music for Zelda actually wrote all the scores, and I don't think he does all the shows, but that's part of my childhood.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's coming to Baltimore, I believe, in July. So.
Okay.
Yep. Little bit of gaming tip news. Like I like to throw out good deals. We reviewed Dishonored, I guess about a month ago, a little over a month ago. Gave it pretty good reviews. You can pick it up right now, 50% off on Amazon for all systems. So
Nice.
that's a pretty good deal. I would say if you haven't played it yet, that's a good price point to buy it because it is a rather short game. So I wouldn't pay $60 for it, but I would pay $30 for it. And
so it's worth the discounted price.
Right, and the DLC came out, which of course the DLC will cost you some extra money, but the DLC adds a lot to it. So I would definitely say pick it up for $30.
Yeah, this news story right here is pretty interesting. Some leaked or not leaked info, but some disclosed info came out on the THQ, the whole THQ buyout or whatever.
Right.
And it was found out that they owed WWE like $7.5 million for like licensing and they're using WWE's property and they had to pay that up and they didn't. And I opened up the article again because like you found out that they owed a lot more than just that.
Yeah, it's insane. Like the inner workings behind THQ crumbling are slowly coming out, and it is insane. Like what they were dealing with, and it to me it's crazy that they were able to keep it so under wraps for so long. Like you think, WWE, UFC, these titles that they had for a while, you think they would have came out and been like, hey, THQ isn't paying their bill.
Yeah, they're not paying their bill, so they owed Ukes how much? 15 to 20 million. Yeah. Right,
and they're the ones that do the engine, and they've done the engine for years.
Yeah. So I like what's the stat that I like down here? Like, the damage claims and everything may have exceeded over 60 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, like if if everything went its course, that's how much they would have owed.
Right. Did you see the story this week on Heavy Rain? Like how it cost the Heavy Rain developers like $60 million to make the game, and the game grossed like over $130 million. So that basically would have wiped out that, had it been under THQ, that would have wiped out their debt.
Yeah.
So
here, guys, make good games.
Yeah.
Make a good game.
That's sad too, because like the WWE games, even though I'm not a wrestler fan anymore, they're generally good games. Like oddly enough, they are one of the best reviewed sports games out there, if you can consider it a sport. But
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Sports entertainment.
Yeah. They're one of the best reviewed yearly sports entertainment games. Like I would consider wrestling games and football games the same type of game, even though they're different sports.
Mm-hmm.
They're yearly things. They just update the roster. They add a couple of new modes. You know, they are identical. It's just the source material that's a little different. So,
I remember back in the day, wrestling games were the shit.
WCW versus NWO and like WWF,
SmackDown.
SmackDown and oh man, those were the days. That's back when I watched wrestling. See?
Yeah, me too. So those were the days.
So THQ had a final sale of what was left. You know, we talked about how like Darksiders wasn't bought, Homeworld wasn't bought.
Mm-hmm.
They had a final sale last week, and they finally released the numbers. And I had it up here a second ago. There we go. It raised about $7 million total, and I think a little less. But basically, here's the breakdown: Darksiders, Red Faction, MTX versus ATV, and all other THQ software like Destroy All Humans, Summoner, a lot of the lower licensed games, stuff like that, went to Nordic Games.
Okay. Summoner?
Yeah.
Dang, that's still around.
It's an IP.
Oh, just the IP. Okay.
Right. Borderlands 2 developer Gearbox bought Homeworld. A lot of people were kind of sad about that because Gearbox isn't well known for any games besides Borderlands 2. Because Aliens, Colonial Marines, Duke Nukem Forever, and Drawn to Life and Drawn to Life the Next Chapter were purchased by 505 Games. You know, mobile games. So there you go. THQ is now officially, everything is gone.
Yeah.
Like, there is nothing left for them to sell. They might try to sell the letters THQ, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Might as well.
Now, you mentioned Sly Cooper, and that just happened to coincide with this story. Like, I didn't see that when I picked this story up, but they rated the Sly Cooper collection, our ESRB rated the Sly Cooper collection, not correction, collection for Vita, which is pretty cool, because I was actually thinking about picking up the new one, because I like Sly Cooper games. Like, they're well-done new games that are like the old games I used to play, but not like the super old. Like, not N64 games.
N64, early PlayStation.
Right, the 3D platformers, stuff like that. And the new Sly Cooper was really cool because it was developed by a different studio, and it started out as like a homage to Sly Cooper. Like, it wasn't an official game.
Okay.
And the studio and Sony liked it so much that they said, all right, here's a little more funding. We'll market it as a real game, and we'll just sell it at a lower price point. So, like, when it came out new, it's a full game for $40.
That's pretty cool.
As an official sequel. So, I do like Sly Cooper. So it's cool that the collection's coming to Vita. Now, there is already a collection on PS3. So,
yeah.
Good news.
Yeah. This is some more good news. Bethesda announced that The Evil Within, the game,
Survival Horror is back.
Yeah, from the originator of Survival Horror, Shinji Mikami. He did Resident Evil. He's behind that game. Yeah, up to Resident Evil 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really big news. Like, did you watch the video on it?
I didn't see the video. No.
It looks like he knows what he's doing. I mean, like in the press conference, he was just kind of sitting there, like, so Survival Horror isn't very scary anymore. Like, he has very trademark, like, he's very like subdued and stuff. He's a very mellow guy.
Yeah, I read a lot of his interviews. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pull it off. Like, I think he's gonna be able to bring Survival Horror back. Like,
that's cool.
The video and stuff that we saw, obviously, you know, it's very early and stuff like that, but it seemed to capture that feel. Like, he admitted, he's like, it's harder to scare gamers now without being cliche. And he was like, and some of the stuff we do is gonna be cliche, but it's still gonna scare you.
That's good. That's cool. Yeah, like the early Resident Evils were scary. Then Silent Hill took it to a new level. Yeah. Like as scary as Resident Evil could be or was, Silent Hill was always like leagues ahead of it. You know, Dead Space was the only game. The first one was the only game in a long time that really scared me like that and like really paid homage back to the old games. So. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see I'd like to see Survival Horror reborn.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my topics. Is what genres do you want to see come back? But survival horror was really only like one of two I could think of. So
Yeah.
scrap that. Timegate, the company that made Aliens Colonial Marines,
Boo.
lost a legal battle, or courtroom duel, to South Peak over copyright infringement. So, sock it to them, so maybe they stop making bad games.
Yeah, I like the little quip that South Peak hasn't really been working on anything, they're just getting their money through courtroom litigation.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of South Peak games back in the day.
Right.
Like, you know, like I think they did like the police quest SWAT games or something like that. They did some type of SWAT game or something. But yeah, South Peak.
Deadpool gets a release date, June 25th. It's also coming at a $50 price point. Kind of worried us.
Yeah, yes. I looked at some of the comments, and some of the commenters are a little worried about that too.
I think it's really funny that everybody's like, oh, it's $50 instead of $60. It's gonna be a crappy game, and I'm like, dude, like 10 years ago, if we got a game for $50 instead of $60, we'd be like, yeah, $50 instead of $60. They actually came out, from what I've read, and said that it's mostly due to he's a lesser-known license, which I don't believe.
Yeah.
Because he's actually one of Marvel's most popular characters right now. I mean, he has 3 comic books running right now. So, we'll see. I mean, I don't have real high expectations for it, but if it's as good as the worst High Moon game has been, it's still going to be a fun game. It may not be groundbreaking.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, like, even the worst High Moon game, which was like the Transformers tie-in game to the movie, was still fun to play. Like, it played solid. They made some weird story decisions, but you know, that's because it's a movie tie.
Yeah, those are always tough.
Now, I mean, the Deadpool game is actually written by Marvel writers, you know, voiced by Nolan North. So can't be that bad.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. I'd like to see it. This is a cool story. While we're still on the comic books.
Yeah.
Injustice. The first DLC character will be Lobo.
I loved Lobo.
Yeah,
like,
Lobo was pretty badass for a DC character.
I have to say I did kind of see him coming though, because they mentioned him in Doomsday's ending.
Well, I thought it was weird that he wasn't a character originally.
Right, because he's like one of the.
Yeah, I mean, like, and especially with NetherRealm, like doing the actual game, like they would jump. They would. You'd think that they would jump to do him and put him in the game.
Right.
And so, like, I was like, when I saw this story, I was like, wait a minute, how come he wasn't in the game to begin with?
Right.
So.
I mean, he even though he's not one of the more popular, he's popular enough that they were actually talking about doing a movie about him. So, I don't know. I think maybe they waited just because they wanted to fit some other people in. I don't know why, like Ares and Killer Frost and, you know, DC characters that I've heard of, but I've only heard them referenced like once. Now I don't read a lot of DC, so. You know.
Yeah, Oh well, he'll be about $5.
Yeah, that's what they think. And they did that with Mortal Kombat too. So I kind of expected we'll see like these trickling of characters.
Yeah. So if you haven't gotten Injustice yet, I mean, it's a pretty solid game. We'll probably talk about that in our review next week or something. Yeah. But yeah, I maybe wait until there's a complete edition.
Yeah.
You know, like how there is for Mortal Kombat.
So this is a feature I thought launched with the Wii U, but apparently it didn't.
Yeah, I was surprised.
The Virtual Console for Wii U is coming out basically today, later on tonight, when they do the upgrade. I really thought that was built in, like that was built in with the Wii.
Yeah.
Now they did launch like some like preview games, which we talked about, like F-Zero and stuff.
Yeah.
But now you can rebuy those old games again for like the 7th time.
Yeah. Why not?
Because purchases don't transfer.
Exactly. And yeah, especially since like no games were really coming out for the Wii, you need to play something. So that's probably why they were rushed to do this.
As long as it has like that remote play, that would be cool. Like, you know, you can sit there on that little gamepad and play. You know.
Yeah, that would be neat.
F-Zero or whatever. I wouldn't buy a Wii U for it, but
No. Nah.
Failing.
Yeah.
The fail you.
It is the fail you. That's
Yeah.
what it is. That's what it is. You heard it here. I still buy one eventually. You know, like if I had like, if I was took care of everything that I needed to pay for and had an extra, like $300 laying around, sure I'd get a Wii. Why not?
I'd get a laptop. Then I can play all those old games as I want.
After you got the laptop, would you get the Wii U?
No. I put a down payment on the next Xbox.
Damn.
the Wii U on my thing would be like if we went on like current game consoles, I own a PlayStation and Xbox, I own a PC, so we'll even cut laptop out because I own a PC. It would probably go 3DS, Vita, DS,
Dang.
Wii U.
Wow.
I might even put the Wii in front of a Wii U.
Wow.
Just because of the fact that I have a Wii account with a whole bunch of old games on it.
Dang.
If there's like nothing for it. Like you said it.
Yeah,
there is one game coming out this month for Wii U.
Yep, and it came out last Tuesday.
Right.
So, there's still Zelda coming out at the end of the year.
Well, see, when I bought the Xbox for the third time, I guess really the second because the first time was a replacement. I bought it for Halo 4, but I could kind of justify that because I'd be like, well, there's other Xbox games I want. Like there's Fable, there's Gears of War, there's all the non-exclusives that I would rather play on Xbox because people actually play them. But like the Wii U, I can't even do that. I'm like, there's a Zelda. There's maybe a Metroid game eventually.
Yeah. The more I'm thinking about it, a Wii would be kind of better than the Wii U right now. Just because of the games. I'm thinking like Wii Fit and stuff.
Right.
Is it cross-platform?
You can play Wii games on Wii U, yes.
Okay. Maybe.
But
maybe.
Yeah, I mean.
Maybe.
All right.
People got laid off.
Yeah. EA lays off EA Mobile and Playfish.
That's what? How many people was that? Like 30 people?
30 people. So total EA layoffs are up to over 300 people.
Is that in the last week or last month?
That's I think within the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So probably you could say since the beginning of April.
Okay.
They're restructuring, so they said they're getting rid of a whole bunch of people. That's what they're doing. It could actually coincide with this. I mean, game sales are down 10% from this time last year, which is actually, when you think about it, kind of makes sense. Because I mean, last year we had some pretty big releases around this time of year. We had like Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
There was a couple other ones around then, but that's the big one that jumps out, like the major franchises. And the major franchises this year didn't perform that well. Like Tomb Raider undersold, God of War Ascension undersold, Gears of War, whatever the newest one was, undersold.
Judgment,
yeah, that one. So, I'm not too worried about game sales in general. It's just crappy release schedule.
And yeah, times have changed.
Yep. And well, you want to? This is your story.
This was. I was just on Facebook, and
where we get all our news.
Yeah, where we get all our news. And the Metal Gear Solid page showed that they were releasing the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, which will be available this June. It has Metal Gear Solid 1. It's for PS3 only. It'll have Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4, VR missions, Peace Walker, like all those Metal Gear games. It also will have the digital Metal Gear comic series, the run that they had, and yeah, no price yet, but really cool.
I'd say it probably come out at 50 or 60. They could probably go like full retail release because it's so many high AAA games.
Yeah.
Even though some of them are older. So there you go. I might actually pick that up because I missed the middle Metal Gear Solids. Like I played 1 and I played part of 2, and then I never played any of them after that.
See, this would never happen, but it would be nice if the Twin Snakes was on there. would be included in this Legacy collection, and that was the port or the remake of Metal Gear Solid 1 that was made for the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they would do that. Maybe some licensing thing with Nintendo,
Right.
because like they had like little GameCubes in the background and stuff like that. Stuff that could easily be removed,
Right.
but I don't know if they go through the hassle. And that would be cool if Twin Stakes was in there. If it was, then I would really jump at it.
Yeah.
But this is still really cool.
So what other collections would you like to see? You want to see like HD Resident Evil collection where they do like Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1?
They had something like that for. It sucks because there's two different versions. The PS3 version was different than the Xbox version.
Right.
It was called the Resident Evil. One was called like the collection. The other one was called the. I don't know, but it was like one. I think the Xbox one had. The PS3 one had all the Resident Evil games. At Resident Evil 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Xbox one had like might have had like Code Veronica, but didn't have Resident Evil 1 on it or something. Like
something silly.
They weren't equal,
Right.
which sucked. So it's
I want to see a definitive Resident Evil collection 1 through 6
with everything.
with everything in between.
That would be cool. That would be so cool. And it was like $100.
Well, I mean, they did that Street Fighter collection last year
Mm-hmm.
for the 20th anniversary or whatever, where it was like every Street Fighter game ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you downloaded all of them except for the current game,
Yeah.
and that was like 150. So
Maybe they'll do something like that for Resident Evil's 20th anniversary. That'll be in what, 2016?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe they'll do something big. So wait.
All right, so continuing that trend. Let's see, what is it? Is it this one? Yes. So there was a tweet that actually Nikki showed me the other day
Mm-hmm.
that a developer posted, and they were basically like, development cost is about 20 to 30,000, or it might even been more than that. It might have been 20, like 40,000 per 5 minutes of gameplay, whereas consumer cost is like, way less than that. So, for 5 minutes of gameplay, it's cents, if that. So the guy was like, don't complain about high game cost, and it kind of struck me like, if they're really paying this much money, where is it going? Because most of these games, you can tell that's not where the money is going.
Yeah.
Is like Call of Duty. The average development cost of Call of Duty is now about $100,000, whereas not $100,000.
100 million?
Yeah, $100 million. Whereas the advertising budget is like $200 to $400 million.
That's crazy.
So the game budget is $500 million, but most of that's not going to development.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Call of Duty's kind of like the top end spectrum, but what about like these regular games? Like we're seeing regular games kind of pumping out the hype trains too.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think this is like a real estimate of developer cost versus consumer cost, or do you think this guy's kind of like?
It is tough to say. I mean, this person could probably be a little bitter or something.
Right.
And like this also reminds me of the one story that we had where the companies that got laid off by EA, one of those companies hadn't produced a game in like 2 years or something like that, a year or two. So what, they were like drawing on paychecks this whole time and not doing anything really?
Right.
So I mean, really, it's a lot of mismanagement. I try when I see these games, I look at them like movies. I don't think. So let's say you can have a like a developer. They can be like a studio, a game like a movie studio, and I think the budget. I think the game projects should be. That's what they get paid for, and I think when that project's done, they shouldn't be drawing on like paychecks or anything. You know what I mean? They should always be working if they're getting paid, and I don't think I don't think being a developer it should be like a 9 to 5.
Right.
Unless you're actually working on a game. So, it's weird. It's weird for me. Like $100 million is a lot. Most movies, that's like pretty much the baseline for their budget.
Yeah, that's like a big, I don't want to say big, but that's like a summer movie budget.
Yeah, that's a summer movie budget, like, and that's one that's trying to be like really cheap. Like when you have Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff, that's where you get like the $300 million movie.
Right.
Like a $300 million movie, that's like huge.
Right.
That's huge. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I think that might be why we're seeing a lot of these indie developers and stuff doing so well, like the Behemoth, and a lot of these small. We're seeing like the resurgence of the downloadable games and stuff like that. And honestly, I hate to say it, but one of the ways that they could start pumping out better developed games is cut out the publishers. I mean, if you market your own thing through, maybe even not market it, but if you pay a company to market it through Xbox Live or something and do direct download, you don't have to pay like licensing fee. Well, not licensing fees, but you don't have to pay, huge publisher fees. You don't have to pay, retailer fees, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all that money goes back to you. So that's kind of why I personally started doing a lot more direct download, just because, I know whoever I'm going through is getting a cut, whether it's Xbox Live or Steam or stuff like that. But I know it's nowhere near the cut that Walmart, Target, Best Buy, all of those people are taking. So
that's true. And a lot of these downloadable games are cheaper too.
Right.
They're cheaper. Like the game that I'm going to preview, I mean, it's probably going to be like $15, and or the game that we previewed last week, Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
direct download.
Yeah, direct download. Jump right in.
Expansion. Standalone. Yeah. So I think this guy's kind of out of. I think he's kind of bitter about something. I didn't quite follow up on it enough. So even if that is the actual cost, because he said that was the average, I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that's development cost. I think that might be cost, but that I'm sure that takes into account advertising and all the fees and stuff like that. And I mean, Microsoft's come under fire for this too, because like Xbox Live Arcade, there's such a huge fee involved with getting games on there that a lot of other companies are going to other venues. So I think that whole thing needs to be kind of reevaluated.
Yeah.
All right, so your other topic, surviving a gaming drought.
Yeah, in a gaming drought, it's like subjective. You can look at it different ways. Like, say there's not a lot of games coming out, or that you can't play or anything. There's nothing to play, or when you don't feel like playing.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt over this weekend. I didn't really feel compelled to play. Maybe because we're in a gaming drought.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, what are some ways that you?
I typically play MMOs, so
okay.
There are gaming droughts in MMOs, like in between patches, but I mean, every so often you gotta step away from it. I mean, obviously we both love video games. We're doing a show
We're
about
doing a show on it. The 47th show.
Right. So we love video games enough to sit down once a week and talk about it in front of a camera, and then the rest of the week talk about it regardless.
Yeah,
it's just not
pretty much
for the camera. So, but I mean, there are times when you have to step away and say, there's really not that much I'm interested in. It's just like movies. It's just like books. I mean, like you and I both love to read. I mean, you're a writer. I mean, you may not be a published writer, but you're a writer. So obviously you love to read, but I mean, there's got to be times when you're like, there's no books coming out I really want to read.
Yeah.
In terms of fiction, I mean, you can always pick up, I don't say self-help, but you can always pick up a learning book. Like, even yesterday I was looking at books for work, to, kind of help my skill set. But in terms of fiction, you can kind of go and say, oh, there's really nothing out I want, I read the last Dresden Drought novel. There's nothing. And games are the same way. I mean, if there's nothing that piques your interest, you can only play the same game so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about, hey, should I fire up XCOM again? I was like, nah. Maybe next week. That's when I'll probably need to do a couple more videos for my Let's Play.
Right. You need to take a break from it, and especially now, like we're actually in a gaming drought because there really isn't too much coming out. It's kind of nice to pick up on backlog if you have it. Like I had a few games that I still wanted to play, and there's a couple things I wanted to try out, but do other stuff.
Yeah. This weekend I listened to more music. I got Pandora back on my phone. Before I couldn't have it. Now I can use it again. So I listened to music and was catching up on some ebooks that a lot of my writer friends, they give away their books for free because they're trying to spread the word. So I just been reading some of their stuff.
Right. I did. Since I don't play World of Warcraft anymore, I have a lot more free time. And Saturday, I played I played a game. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. But I played a game for a while, and then I stopped. I worked on the room a little bit, and then I did work on the website, and I'm actually working on a redesign of the website.
Ooh.
But it's in testing and it's hidden, so nobody can see it.
It's in beta.
Yeah, it's not even in beta. It is bare bones right now, but it's nice to do that kind of stuff to just step away. Even though it was still kind of indirectly video game related.
Very true.
So,
very true, but yeah, we're not total losers.
Yeah. we went out and went camera shopping. We pulled you along since you're the camera guy.
Yeah.
You do a lot. You write, you take pictures, you take video.
I do. I'm a jack of all trades.
Yeah. You know how that works out in RPGs though, right? They're always the least played character.
Because
you want the high damage, the high healer, and the high survivable.
That's so true.
All right. So there are some games coming out that we can help survive this gaming drought. Unfortunately, it sounds like both of these games we're going to preview aren't going to be out for at least a month.
Yeah. So it'll be a while before they come out.
For the next month, you guys are going to have to deal with whatever you got. So go get Dishonored. It's 50% off.
Go do that.
All right, so we'll do your preview first. Let me turn the sound off so you guys don't have to listen to this annoying voice.
Yeah.
You can listen to our annoying voice. So, what's your game?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of Shadows. It is a
Shadows.
Yes. It is a downloadable game it's going to be for all the consoles. It's Ninja Turtles, so that's cool.
Yeah. I was telling you, like, the art style initially kind of turned me off.
Because of the hyper-realistic looking turtles.
But, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, it's based on... There's a Nickelodeon cartoon on right now. It's based on that licensed universe, so... But all they did was change the art style to appeal to older gamers. People that grew up with the Turtles. So, it's four-player co-op, obviously. All Turtles will be on screen at the same time. So, say if you're playing single player, you can swap between the Turtles freely if you want.
That's pretty cool.
There's two-player local co-op, and you can obviously do four-player online co-op just by playing online. You can do combo moves together, like linking up moves with all the characters. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and when I saw Blood Dragon last week, I was like, I'm going to get this game. So, that's pretty much it. Leonardo, he has like a graceful fighting style. Raph is more up close, like doing wrestling moves just like that right there. Michelangelo's really quick, and he's like, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but he's fast, and Donatello's slow, but he's like a heavy hitter, and he's got range.
Right.
So,
He's the thinking man's turtle.
Yeah, so, I mean, this game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, especially, for a brawler. Brawlers are kind of like have kind of died out over the during our gaming lives. So.
Yeah, I mean that was the other genre. There's occasionally, like, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was a good brawler, and then Castle Crashers was a good brawler, and that's it. That's like the only two I could come up with recently that were any good.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be a cool game to pick up.
Yeah, $15.
Mhm.
You know, if that's what it ends up being for Xbox Live or whatever.
Mhm.
I definitely give it a chance. Like I like the Turtle Brawler games, and you know, seeing them come into the current age is kind of cool. Like I said, the
Yeah.
art style I was a little iffy on, but I definitely wouldn't not play it if the gameplay was good. Like I'll probably
Yeah.
watch you play it, or maybe play local co-op with you, and then maybe decide to get it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Turtles.
all right, so the
Cowabunga.
yeah. The game I'm going to talk about is Marvel Heroes. Comes out June 4th. It's going to be a free-to-play MMO. They're billing it as an MMO, even though it's more like a Diablo type game. I'm going to try very hard not to break NDA, so I'm only going to talk about the stuff that you see in the video. Now, the video is actually the live stream that they did over the last beta weekend. So this is actually a pretty current build, but it's made by Gazillion Entertainment. It's a company that's been around for a while under different names, but now that's what they're going by. And the head of game direction is actually the guy who did Diablo 2. So he definitely knows these kind of games.
Nice.
So it's, as you see, it's like an action RPG. The cool thing is you actually play as real Marvel heroes. Like he's actually playing as Black Widow.
Nice.
So it's not like you're some no-name hero and you get to copy powers from somebody. You actually have heroes, and you know, you have their iconic powers and stuff like that. The downside is, and this is obviously how they're going to make their money because they're free to play. You only get a certain starting amount of heroes, and then after that you have to buy heroes.
Mhm.
They have the list of the starting heroes up on the website. They have like Hawkeye and Storm and some other ones. The really popular heroes like Wolverine and Spider-Man, you're definitely going to have to buy them.
Mhm.
Like
Iron Man, Captain America.
Oh my God! Like the other side of it is they all have different costumes. Like they have all their different. I don't say all of them, but they have, you know, a lot of their different costumes. Dude, like Iron Man has so many different like suits of armor. It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
I bet.
Like, because you can go on the webpage and look at, like, they call them founder packs, and they basically you can pick a character and get all of their costumes for, you know, like $60 plus some bonus stuff. And like Iron Man has so many damn costumes, whereas like Black Widow or somebody like that has like 3.
That sucks.
Or like Hulk, there's only so many different ways.
Yeah.
You have like, I mean, just naming off the Hulks that I can. You have Red Hulk, other than the green. You have Red Hulk, Gray Hulk, Planet Hulk, and then like Hulk in a suit when he was like a bouncer. That's like all the Hulks there is. Like how many different purple shorts torn can you really show?
Yeah.
So, but it's cool that they offered that. Like I bought the Deadpool pack, and Deadpool actually has a good amount of costumes. Like he has like 6 costumes because he always dresses up in something goofy.
Yeah, he
like
does.
A pirate or you know. I personally like the sheriff one because he looks like Deadpool mixed with Rick Grimes.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it comes out June 4th. Action RPG. It looks like a lot of fun. You get to battle real villains. Like right now, he's Black Widow messing around with Dr. Octopus. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Diablo type games, I would definitely check this one out.
Yeah, this looks pretty awesome for free to play.
Yeah, and I mean everything I've seen so far from it, it looks like it's not going to be pay to win.
Nice.
So it looks like really the only thing you can pay for is like experience boosts and characters.
Okay.
So, but if you want the good characters, or like Hulk. So, beta is going on right now. You can sign up to see if you can get in there. Like I said, there is an NDA, so that's it. That's all I can say. I probably said too much. Like all of that stuff, I'm not going to explain to all this.
Okay.
It's stuff. It's a character window, and you have gear. And like any good action RPG gear, you're looking to get better gear. So.
Very cool.
Oh, he skipped the cutscene. I can't talk about it. Okay. Well, there you go. I wish I could say more, but I can't.
You can. Not bad. That looks pretty cool. If I had a nice PC, I would.
That's the nice thing, though. Like, even if you turn everything down, it'll play on most computers. Like, they scaled it really well. Like, if we can get that computer hooked up for you, I know that would definitely play it.
Oh, cool.
Like, easily. That would probably play it on probably medium to high.
Nice.
So if we can get that rolling for you, you'll be set.
That would be cool.
So we'll have to work on that. We'll have to see if maybe we can track down a case or something. Because I've got to have something somewhere, some old case that I can retrofit. It may not be the best, but hopefully it should work.
A case is a case.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will about do it for us tonight.
Episode 47 in the books.
In the books. In the bag. In the.
We're coming up on our year anniversary.
I know, that's scary. Can't believe we've been doing this for a year.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
We're actually probably just about a year. Even though we're not at 50.
We started in like May, didn't we?
We started at the end of April.
Okay.
So we might miss the anniversary.
Okay.
We didn't start the video podcast till May.
Yeah. Okay.
So, which was the 3rd episode.
Okay.
Or 4th episode, one of the two.
One of those. Wow.
So we are coming up on a year of shows, and that's insane. So
that is.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Subscribe. Pander. I'm gonna pander all our stuff.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
And maybe, just maybe, for a year anniversary, you guys will get a cat video. That always appeals to you too.
Or cat pictures.
Yeah, I mean, we got that nice new camera. Get the specs in his eyes.
Yes.
I was actually surprised he was going to come over and mess with us, but then he just stopped. He just laid down and died. Or slept. Whatever cats do. Alright, well, thanks for watching.
Bye.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.